Okay, hopefully you can hear me and see. This is what a typical setup at a Navi it's going to look like. Put my glove on here. Okay, so we got the generator box situated flat, so it's not tipping strongly to one side or another. Got our fuel jug. It's strapped to the top. This run was set up for 20 to 35 below, so the lid's fully closed. If it's warmer, this lid will be open, pulled back about 4 or 5 inches across here, so it can stay a little cooler in there. It's thermostatically controlled. That fan will kick on as it gets too warm. Under the flap here, we got the ignition, we got the choke's right in here. We've got the power going to the hut plugged in. There's also a little black cord in there. That's for the fan, that needs to be plugged in. And normally that's just always plugged in, but something to double check. Fuel line is hooked up and goes into the tank. For leaving it, I don't push this on all the way, I just push it on enough to seal it. So now I shut the valve off and I'll just pull that hose off the bottom here, so the valves and the filter stay with the tank, which will stay here at the site, and the generator, the hose will go inside the box, and the generator will go back to camp. From there we just take the Ford over to the hut. So we're going to have to dig this out. Inside the hut, it's apparently quite dark. It's not really as dark as it looks like, but the camera seems to think so. Is there any such thing as a flash or a light down here? It doesn't look like it. So we can't see much, but we have the charger plugged in. And over here, coming off the charger, you can kind of see that. There we go. There's a black cable that goes up onto the wall there that plugs into the charger. Those are the only two things you need to do in here. Plug the black cable, or the blue cable with the black end, from the charger into the wall, and plug the extension cord into the charger. And you should hear the generator load up a little bit once you plug both of those in if the generator's running. The charger will normally stay out here as well. Colin or I will direct you as to where the chargers are at the site. So there's 2 chargers, 2 sets of cords, and there's 3 sites out here, so they're sprinkled between them. What else? So the opposite of that, to pack back up, charger, extension cords stay here, fuel jug stays here. I'm going to load the generator up in the sled. Each of these generators is probably about 100 pounds without the fuel. Strap everything down good. We want to take it pretty slow when we're pulling the generator. When I come out here to refuel or to move it to the next site, usually I'll just leave the sled out here and I'll bring enough fuel the first trip out, so I got enough fuel for the whole mission, and then I can zip out pretty quick without the sled and crap behind me. So I'm going to load these up. That's about it, unless I think of something else to add. Okay, a couple other quick things to add. I don't haul the fuel tank for the generator back and forth unless I have to for some special reason to use it somewhere else. They'll just stay out here. Transport is tricky with the hose and stuff coming off of it. You don't want to damage that. If for some reason you do have to transport it, make sure you put a bag or a rubber glove or something around this valve. Make sure it stays closed. I usually won't haul these full. Put a bag around the valve and rubber band it so that stays clean. The other thing, when you're running it, there's no secondary air vent, so make sure this cap is loose so that it can breathe. Just put it on enough just tightly enough to keep the snow out, just a couple threads, so that as the fuel level drops, it doesn't pull a vacuum and stop flowing fuel. I think that's everything else that I thought of to add.